I can say to my new Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra, hey, find a keto-friendly restaurant nearby and text it to Beth and Steve. And it does, without me lifting a finger. So I can get in more squats anywhere I can. 1, 2, 3.
Will that be cash or credit?
Credit. 4.
Galaxy S25 Ultra, the AI companion that does the heavy lifting so you can do you. Get yours at Samsung.com. Compatible with select apps. Requires Google Gemini account. Results may vary based on input. Check responses for accuracy.
This episode is brought to you by Prime Video. In the small town of Holland, Michigan, nothing is ever what it seems. Behind the tulip festivals and pretty houses lay dark secrets that threaten to tear a marriage apart. Nicole Kidman stars in this darkly twisted thriller about a wife and mother whose quest to uncover her husband's secrets may get her more than she bargained for. Holland. Watch it now on Prime Video.
Yeah. We just chillin' and vibing. Good conversations with good people. Oh. Good conversations with good people. Yeah.
Yo, this your boy Larry, and I'm chilling and vibing with Miss Brooklyn Kelly. What's going on, girl?
Hey.
Hey, I appreciate you for coming to chill and vibe.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
So, Brooklyn, where you from?
I'm from Las Vegas, Nevada.
Vegas. You know what they say? What happened in Vegas?
Stays in Vegas.
But you didn't stay there, though.
No.
You moved.
Yes, I did. Very much. First sign out, I definitely moved. I moved out.
So, like, how's life where you at now?
So in LA, it's fantastic. I love it. I'm going on my 7th year living here. It's perfect. I love it.
Speaking of LA, I know y'all had those forest fires, and a lot of people got affected. Did you know anyone that was affected, or did it affect you?
Absolutely. I had a fire that broke out about a mile away from my house. Everything was untouched, thankfully, but I definitely know a lot of my colleagues and coworkers, friends of friends who were directly impacted. So a lot of their childhood homes, their memories, everything. It's something interesting, and it's really hard to like help or to witness, everyone kind of heal from that as well. But it's been really lovely to see how much of a community LA has, to be able to help. So a lot of my friends and I, were, finding different ways to help and aid, whether it be starting GoFundMes, helping with GoFundMes, volunteering in person, getting the word out, finding more fundraisers for people, all that stuff.
Yeah, my prayers go out to everyone over there, man, because that was big.
Hmm.
Still is.
Yeah, definitely.
So Brooklyn, how did you get into music? How did that journey start?
It started when I was 7. I started singing in recitals at 7 years old. And then it quickly turned into something where I became obsessed with dancing around like 10 or 11. And then I started doing musical theater outside of school, or outside of school time. Like my middle school offered it. And so I was doing theater every single musical they had. I did it every single song. I was in choir. I did it all. I was immersed myself in it since I was a little one.
What type of music did you listen to growing up?
So I was heavily influenced by R&B, 90s R&B, early 2000s R&B. My mom is from the Bay Area, so she would have all of her like CDs stacked up. So I was very much influenced by that. And then I was also very influenced by my Filipino heritage, because in our culture, karaoke is a huge thing. Big ballad power songs are very much a huge thing. So I was listening to all these huge power ballads, namely Whitney Houston all the time, and of course like Disney songs all the time. So that's really what shaped a lot of my vocal tone, honestly.
What did your mom think when you first start singing, like when you first start taking it serious?
I come from an Asian background, so it was one of those things where it was like, okay, this is still going to be a side hustle, right? But it's been a thing of mine for forever. since, like I said, since I was 7. I did it all throughout middle school, all throughout high school, throughout college as well. College, I had a theater major. And I think after in high school, once I was doing it for college, she was like, "Oh, she's actually gonna go through with this," and I was like, I'm not taking anything else. I'm doing this 100%."
What was the first song you wrote?
Oh, like wrote and released, or just wrote ever?
Wrote and released.
Wrote and released. That would have been Voice. Nope, that would have been Cafe in Paris, and that's on SoundCloud. It's not even on Spotify.
So what made you write that song?
It was the summer before I left for college, and I had just deep cleaned the whole house, and I was listening to lo-fi music. Um, and it was one of those like afternoons, early morning, like early afternoons where like the sun.
Subtle results, still you, but with fewer lines. Botox Cosmetic, out of botulinum toxin A, is a prescription medicine used to temporarily make moderate to severe frown lines, crow's feet, and forehead lines look better in adults.
Effects of Botox Cosmetic may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness may be a sign of a life-threatening condition. Patients with these conditions before injection are at highest risk. Don't receive Botox Cosmetic if you have a skin infection. Side effects may include allergic reactions, injection site pain, headache, eyebrow and eyelid drooping, and eyelid swelling. Allergic reactions can include rash, welts, asthma symptoms, and dizziness. Tell your doctor about medical history, muscle or nerve conditions including ALS or Lou Gehrig's disease, myasthenia gravis, or Lambert-Eaton syndrome, and medications, including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects. For full safety information, visit BotoxCosmetic.com or call 877-351-0300.
See for yourself at BotoxCosmetic.com.
Was shining. It was like cozy in the house, and it just felt like this like really warm hug. And then I was really inspired by like the amount of like peace I felt. So then I wrote that song, and I found a beat online and then wrote it in that same sitting and just freestyled.
Your song Prettier.
Mm-hmm.
What inspired you to write that song?
Um, it was one of those things where I didn't know what I was writing at the time. Um, I had come home from work. The day that I wrote it, I'd come home from work and I was just exhausted dealing with customers. I was working at a French toastery, so I was working in food service and in front of customers all day, and I was exhausted working with a clientele, and I came home just drained, and I sat down on my floor and I wrote the whole song in one sitting, and it was very much inspired by a dynamic I was facing in my childhood. So I never want people to take Prettier very literally. It's not about my physical appearance at all. It's about not feeling enough throughout my adolescence.
So being in LA, have you met any like celebrities, like big celebrities like Chris Brown?
I've met a couple of people, but I haven't like sat and had conversations with them and I've been in the room with some people, but I haven't like talked to them directly one on one.
So what was that first performance like
Um, of Prettier or of anything in general.
in general? Your first performance ever?
It was like it was like euphoric. It was like the one word I can describe when I'm on a stage and I'm like in the pocket is bliss. Like it's bliss. It's nothing matters except for that present moment. So it's one of those, it's very beautiful to be able to have something that keeps you so present in a day and age like this. And that's what it felt like when I was a kid. I was like addicted to performing.
Who would be your dream collaboration with?
Huh, my dream collaboration. There's a few. One of them would be Janae Aiko. I would pass out if it was Janae Aiko. I definitely love Doechii right now. She's eating it up. I've been a fan since forever. Um, let's see. Who else would I want to collaborate with? Definitely SZA as well. Love her. And Megan Thee Stallion. Yeah.
That's what's up. So how was Dollhouse Studios created?
Dollhouse Studios was created top of last January, so about a year ago now. And I've been used to producing my own projects. And back in college, I was also producing my dance crews projects as well. So I was, showing underrepresented people and communities the whole time. it became one of those things theme wise where I was like, oh, the people that I work with, the type of clientele that I want to attract are people that don't really see themselves in the spotlight. How can I help? How can I use my privilege and my platform to be able to push, push the envelope even more? And that's pretty much what it was created to be. Dollhouse, the reason why it's called that is not only is my brand similar to a Bratz doll, but also because it's a dollhouse. It's a safe home for people who don't have a home. And typically I found that people who are ostracized by society might feel ostracized in their home life.
I've been seeing some of the videos, man. I see you be getting it. You be getting it.
Yeah, definitely.
Hey, I was about to call Breezy up. Hey, yo, Breezy, hey, we got one. You might need her in your video, man.
Thanks. Aw, thank you.
Yeah, that's pretty dope. Like, being a choreographer, man. Phew, that's
Yeah, I
that's
do.
that's take a lot of energy.
Yeah, it takes a lot. It takes a lot. Doing all the disciplines takes a lot.
So, how did you feel about R&B music today compared to
Uh,
back in the day?
I miss men yearning. I miss when men would yearn and they'd have the boombox out the window. That's how I thought I was gonna grow up. And then I was listening to modern day R&B. Not that it's bad, there's nothing wrong with it, but I think it's just different. Yeah, I think the subject lines are different. I think the way that love now in today's day and age, definitely. I think a lot of R&B today is influenced by, the culture around dating. So I think it's shifting as we see dating culture shift as well.
Yeah, R&B is shifting for real, for real. Cause like back in the day, like it was different. It was real different because like you say, it was yarning. People would make a music and they would say stuff, but like I didn't know what I was saying back in the day. Like some of the songs like adults be singing back in the day. I'm like, one of the songs was Candy Liquor. I didn't know what a candy liquor was. But I was singing and like I knew what it was. Like um, got there, my boyfriend at the time, he was playing it, and I wanna be, I'm not ashamed. But as I got older, I'm like, man, what the world? I
Yeah,
was really thinking that back then, all like genuine in those jeans, you
absolutely.
know.
James, yes, absolutely.
I was singing it, but I didn't even know, what I'm saying, what it meant. But like now, today music, it's like they're being real blunt.
think that's what it is, because obviously candy liquor and in those jeans are roundabout and like a little bit more metaphorical ways to say what they're really trying to say. Definitely in today's day and age, it's a lot more blunt, a lot more forward, just like boom, this is what's gonna happen. So yeah.
Yeah, it's different. It's different. But
Yes.
I guess like, to the kids in this era, they can relate to that, I guess, like they like don't beat around the bush, just be straightforward. And they
Yeah.
doing that.
They are.
They,
It's very
they
interesting.
doing that.
Mhm.
So like performing wise in shows, I saw
Mhm.
you had perform. What's one thing you learned from performing? Like performing from your first show to your last show that you recently did?
I think one thing that I learned is definitely being way more present with the audience in terms of not even during the song, but like in between the songs, like really sitting up there and giving people a show. That doesn't mean like, oh, I need to be a showwoman and need to be in the front and da 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 da. It's literally just having a genuine conversation with people and just like how I would if I wasn't on a stage. And I found that over time when I'm introducing my newer discography of songs and introducing them to people for the first time, the way that I'm doing it, where it's a lot more personal and like, oh, as if, I'm not on a stage right now and I have a microphone, I have lights and I have accompaniment and I'm in a sparkly outfit. It's like just having a normal conversation with someone for the first time. I think that kind of approach where it's a lot more comfortable with the audience and a lot more laid back is a more successful approach than being like, I'm this thing, I'm this star. I am that, but like it's way more fun to be like personal and ask people about, their dating experience, for example, or one of the bits I do is like who's in a situationship. So it's like fun. It's way more personal.
What's one comment you got from a fan after performing that you remember that just stuck with you?
Can I say something that wasn't from a performance that has
Hmm.
stuck with me? I think there's this one girl who DM'd me on Instagram. Like she was like, "Hey, my friend is turning 16 in 6 months," and she was like, "I was wondering if you could sing her happy birthday. She has no idea, like that I'm doing this. She's a really big fan of your music." And of course, naturally, I was like, "Well, what's her name? Like, what's her Instagram? I'll follow her." And she was like, "Well, her mom doesn't let her have Instagram, but I just like I want her to, she loves your music. She always talks about it." And I think that's something that hit me like really hard because I was like, these people are from the other side of the country. I'm a West Coast girl through and through. So like this was like from a different part of the country and I was just like, wow, like my music has reached someone to the point where like their friend is finding me on Instagram and is like, it would make her day if you sang happy birthday to her. Um so that stays with me through everything actually. Yeah.
That's dope. That's really dope, man. And I know that made her day.
Yeah, no,
I
and
know
that's
that
the thing.
made her
I was
day.
like tripping. I was like, oh my God, is this good? I hope she's gonna, but that's the thing is like, she was like, no, this is everything to her. And I was like, wow, like, you just have no idea.
And that's the power of
Take me out to the ball game. What are you doing? Did you know DirecTV has the most MLB games? So, you're singing? Yeah, they put your favorite teams front and center right when you turn it on. Buy me some cold cuts and flapjacks. Those aren't even the words. I'm allergic to peanuts.
Stream DirecTV, home of the most MLB games. Visit directtv.com. Claim based on total games offered on national and regional sports networks. RSNs available with choice package or higher. Availability of RSNs varies by zip code and package.
music. Like
Hmm.
it's real therapeutic, man. Like a lot of people use it for that. And
Yeah,
you just got to keep pushing, keep going because like it's amazing how you can just touch somebody with your music and your voice.
absolutely. And I think that's definitely with this song Prettier and with the project upcoming, it's less about, I mean, yes, it is about, the actual craftsmanship of, me and my abilities and my vocality and all that stuff, but it's really about I put a lot of subconscious things in the songs to help people bring that stuff up to the surface and like learn through it and just kind of heal. So that's definitely the focus of these songs and this Prettier essentially.
So like what project you working on you just was talking about?
So the projects that I'm working on is an EP, or I guess more so a mini album. It's just only 7 songs, so it's really, really small, which is why I don't like calling it an album. But it's called High Priestess, and it's the High Priestess in tarot represents like a tarot card. It represents someone who needs to look inward and really rely on their inner strength, their intuition. They need to, really sit in that wisdom and go seek that knowledge if they don't already have it, and go seek that knowledge inside of themselves because everything is a reflection of who we are on the inside. And I've been working on this project for 3 years now. Like I've had all these songs for 3 years and I have not let anybody hear them on the internet yet, but it's one of those songs and it's one of those projects where I was able to grow with, which felt really nice because there's a lot of things that I didn't realize what I was making until it applied to me a couple years later, months later. And what it is, it's a 7-part project that takes you through each of the chakras and it awakens things and hopefully in you and helps heal those parts.
And you say you was working on it for 3 years. People don't realize how long it take to
Yeah.
actually, saying, perfect your craft and put it all in one project. Like you could put a single out, but actually putting this piece with that piece and just making it make sense. It's amazing. Like when it come together, I'm ready to hear it.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, no, I heard uh everything at the point that it is at right now. I heard it all like in the order and the sequencing because there's still some holes I'm trying to fill and some gaps in the songs and each song references another song. So even Prettier references another project off the album already. But it'd be fun for people. I'm not going to say what it references. Uh just know like it's really fun that people can kind of find the Easter eggs in each song because it all informs one another and it's beautiful because um I'm someone that was like so caught up in the time. I was like, it's been so long since I released something and I need to do this. And, I was like, I'm behind in the rat race and I need to catch up and da, 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 da. That I, was just saying to someone, like, I'm very grateful that everything fell apart. So that way I could wait longer, because waiting longer then showed me that there's like more merit that I wasn't seeing in it yet.
If people would like to listen to your music, how could they do that?
They can follow me on Instagram at the Brooklyn Kelly. Also find me on Spotify, Apple Music with my name, Brooklyn Kelly, of course. You can also find me on my website, www.brooklyn-kelly.com.
So, Brooklyn, what advice would you give a young artist that just getting in the game? What would you tell her?
I would tell her to keep creating, and in the sense that if you feel it, just write it down, keep creating until you don't feel like you want to work on it anymore. And then pretty soon you'll find many things that your future self can, capitalize upon and be like, oh yeah, this is something that I want to take further. This is something that was just a little like note, and I'll leave this for now and it'll come later. But just that, keep creating, because there's many parts that you could benefit from. And then I think another thing is just that everything happens in its right time. And I learned that one the really hard way, but everything does happen in its own time.
Brooklyn, I appreciate you for coming to Chill and Vibe. But before we go, let everybody know what we doing.
We chillin' and vibing.
Oh yeah, appreciate you, Brooklyn.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you too.